Hello, Manchester High School, and welcome to this special edition of The Pulse. I'm Cameron Wazalowski.
And I'm Tyler Madden. We are here back from the Student Television Network Convention in Atlanta, Georgia, where we found out that the Pulse program has been named #1 in the Northeast, one of only 5 regional winners, and it's all thanks to you, Manchester. You make the stories, we just tell them.
Exactly, Tyler, and those stories we will tell today will be those from our trip. In Atlanta, the Pulse crew took part in many different competitions. Today we will watch the entries to those competitions. We'll give a shout out to our placing individuals, and we'll check out what was going on at MHS while we were away. All this today on The Pulse.
The AIDS contest is a competition in which participants are challenged to create an 8-minute news program in 8 hours. For those not familiar with the behind-the-scenes work, it is a lot harder than it may seem.
However, the Pulse crew stepped up to the plate and successfully submitted a full 8-minute broadcast based on the theme Science and Technology. Here it is. Hello and welcome to this Science and Technology edition of The Pulse from Student Television Network Convention in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm Morgan Kite.
And I'm Shaquem Williams. Today we will highlight the science behind the unique architectural qualities of the Atlanta Marriott Marquis.
Also, a look at a focal point of medical science in the U.S., the American Cancer Society.
And take a ride on the Marcher to explore Atlanta transportation.
All this and much more coming up on this STN edition of The Pulse. From the streets of Atlanta, the Marriott Marquis may look like just an ordinary hotel, but developed in 1985, the science and design of the building, inside and out, is actually extremely unique. Tyler Madden takes us around the home of this year's STN convention.
51 floors, 1,663 rooms, over 500 feet tall, and a speedy elevator that will rise people quickly to the top. These are the components of one of the largest hotels here in downtown Atlanta. The Marriott Marquis' architecture and design brings uniqueness to this popular city, and for engineering supervisor Shannon Bryant, maintenance surprises every day.
I've been here for 20 years, so as I approach the building, like a lot of times I still find stuff. I still find things that I quite didn't know.
One of the main features of the building is the stunning architectural design when you look up from the atrium. However, the reason for the design is not for the appeal, but rather for the airflow.
So once you get past 10, without the air, you have sun coming in, it just draws heats up and everything up.
The outcome has become a masterpiece that takes guests' breath away.
Pretty much, pretty unique, I guess. Yeah, I've never really seen another building like it. Yeah.
The design and architecture does not only appeal to the STN convention, but also appeal to other groups, including the Hunger Games. From the Pulse and the Student Television Network Convention here at the Atlanta Marriott Marquis, this has been Tyler Madden reporting.
A new cancer treatment came to light this week after a former president reported that he is now cancer-free. Cameron Wazalowski has a story behind this revolutionary therapy and how it's related to Atlanta.
Until last weekend, very few people knew about the groundbreaking cancer treatment with an 87% success rate. Among the few, former U.S. President Jimmy Carter, who announced on March 6 that he was cancer-free thanks to immunotherapy. Immunotherapy is a medical process that harnesses the power of the immune system to target only cancerous cells. It is an alternative to chemotherapy that is often used to treat patients at Emory University Hospital, like President Carter and Atlanta resident Jeannie Jones.
It's very important for cancer patients to have some type of immune system therapy.
Unlike other cancer treatments, immunotherapy is unique in that it works with the immune system by stimulating the attack against cancer cells.
The immune system can then function normally. Because in cancer patients, it's usually suppressed, and that's why they become sick and a lot of other complications occur. And so this new technology will allow their immune system to function normally.
Immunotherapy, along with other cutting-edge technologies in the oncology field, is being used in hospitals just like this one to treat cancer patients. Their widespread success gives us hope for the future of cancer treatment. From STN in Atlanta, Georgia, and from The Pulse, this has been Cameron Wazalowski reporting.
1/4 of your body is made up of water. Keep it in you. Stay hydrated.
Thank you for staying with us. Now we go back 124 years for our next story.
Yes, 1892 marks the creation of what has turned into an iconic and worldwide product focused here in Atlanta. Jane Nolan reports her social and scientific findings after she took to the streets to see if citizens of Atlanta could recognize their most famous beverage.
People think of Atlanta, many things come to mind. The Atlanta Braves, CNN, and sweet Georgia peaches. But the most famous and iconic image of all is red and white. Coca-Cola first originated here in Atlanta, Georgia, is one of the numerous trademarks of this wonderful city. Today we will conduct a social scientific experiment to test the community members' opinions on two popular sodas, Coca-Cola and Pepsi.
Coke product is more, I guess seems more sweet.
Perfect, all right, 1 point for Coke.
Pepsi's much sweeter, or this one, which I don't know what it is much sweeter. This one's more acidic.
All right, well, this one actually was Pepsi, so you do know your favorites, so 1 point for Pepsi.
The first one, right here. Yeah.
All right, that one was the Coke, so 2 points for Coke.
Say this one.
That one is, in fact, Coke. So there you have it.
Can I say my hometown?
As you can see, Coca-Cola is still this busy city's favorite. From the STN convention in Atlanta, Georgia, this has been Jane Nolan reporting.
Although Atlanta is full of sights, getting around to see them may prove to be difficult. Miles Hurley brings us the scoop on the downfall of the great city's public transportation and how Atlanta looks to return it to its former glory.
Atlanta was once the railroad hub of the South, helping to drive innovation and trade. However, in 2016, Atlanta is ranked as one of the worst cities in the U.S. in terms of public transportation quality, unable to keep up with the ever-changing technology. Jonathan Scott is the curator at the Southern Museum of Civil War and Locomotive History in Kennesaw.
Atlanta's road and rail infrastructure is the same as it's been really since the 1970s.
The MARTA system, Atlanta's commuter light rail, currently spans over 48 miles, but does not reach all areas of the city. However, this is not the only issue that Atlanta's transportation system faces.
We're really finding the ability to move less distances in a longer period of time.
The city has acknowledged these problems and proposed plans to improve upon the efficiency and quality of MARTA.
I believe that there needs to be a better collaborative effort on behalf of all counties in Metro Atlanta.
Trains like this once represented the cutting edge of technology. But times changed, and continued investment in transportation technology is vital to the growth of cities like Atlanta. From the Pulse and SCN, on location in Kennesaw, Georgia, this has been Miles Hurley reporting.
Thank you so much for joining us today for this STN edition of The Pulse.
STN has been giving students like us the opportunity to share the news for 13 years now, and we are honored to have been a part of it.
That just about wraps it up for today. If you'd like to check out more episodes of The Pulse, visit our website, mhstelevision.com. I'm Morgan.
And I'm Shaquem Williams. This has been The Pulse.
I just remember, Cam, as you were coming out to the last hour, I still had to go down and record my stand-up at the lowest level of the hotel, and we had to run it up and make sure it got into the program, and then our computer crashes, the most stressed that I've ever been.
Crazy 8 is definitely the epitome of stress, Tyler, I'm telling you. And you know what, speaking of stress, some students were experiencing lasting stress back here at home while the Pulse crew was in Atlanta.
This time of year is when stress often increases and a person's intelligence is tested. The 2016 school year brought a brand new form of the Scholastic Aptitude Test, or SAT, to the MHS juniors. Rangel Fuentes takes us through the fluctuating feelings of these test takers.
As all juniors and seniors now know, the SATs can bring a waterfall of emotions upon test takers.
Well, I mean, I was a little tired because it was really long and, strenuous, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
We took you on an exclusive look around the school to see how the juniors felt before and after the SATs.
I'm not super nervous, but I mean, it's a new experience, I guess.
I think it's a pretty scary, feeling, but I feel like I'm okay with it because I've, always studied about it. So I think I'm gonna have a, okay time.
I personally don't agree with a lot of testing, but this is for college, so I'm gonna have to deal with taking the test, but I feel okay.
I'm kind of nervous because it's kind of like a big test, but I'm probably gonna take it again.
Next, we travel ahead 2 days to see the aftermath of the dreaded Scholastic Aptitude Test.
I thought it went by fast. It was pretty easy, or easier than I thought it was going to be.
They were pretty hard, but especially the third and fourth section, where like all this mathematics came into play, and I couldn't really do anything.
From the Pulse, this has been Reniel Fuentes bringing you through the student's view of the SATs, and good luck to all of our future test takers.
Our last segments are different from our usual program. However, we thought you would enjoy 2 other segments submitted for our contest at STN. Here are our 2016 STN PSA and short story submissions.
An achievement from STN we can't quite show you was Liz Turley's submission for broadcast news writing. She received 3rd place for the category.
Well, that's all we have for you today, Manchester. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have any suggestions for the Pulse or ideas for stories that we might have missed, feel free to email Mr. Larson at b11elarson@mpspride.org or visit us in the communication suite.
And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at MHSRedProd.
One last thing, Manchester. Thank you so much for your support. STN was a wonderful learning experience, and we couldn't have been more proud to represent Manchester High School.
Definitely. I'm Cameron Wazalowski.
And I'm Tyler Madden. This has been The Pulse.
Okay. Whoopsie-doo. We can unhook from these. No one else. We don't need to do anything else.